I will call to order the Environmental Control Committee meeting for Tuesday, August 11th. Present are Vice Chair Glassburn and Committee Member Williamson, as well as council persons Jones, Broussard, Kelly, and Limpert, the Finance Director, the HR Director, and guests, and our very well able Clerk of Council. On the agenda for this evening is 2020-81 concerning an MTech truck contract. And my understanding is that Director Glonner will be able to tell us a little bit about the project, but I'll note before we continue that both Councilperson Heeman and the Mayor had some family items that popped up today. There's no issues, they'll be fine, but that's why they are not here. So, Director Glonner, if you have anything to share on this contract, we would love to hear from you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a camera truck that is utilized in the sanitary sewer department so that we can continue to film while we're flushing all the storm sewers, continue the checking the integrity of all the pipes, locating laterals, and cleanouts that we utilize throughout the year. In our 5-year plan, we had scheduled this for January of next year to be replaced. The current truck is a 2009, which will make it 12 years old, and at that time it needs to be replaced. So this would be presented in the 2021 budget in January. However, because of all the flooding and everything we've had on the storm sewer side, we only have one camera truck in the city. So the storm sewer crew has been utilizing this camera most of the time, almost primarily totally used in the storm sewer side, so that we can try to alleviate some of the flooding we've had and to stay on top of finding locations and making sure that the pipes and everything are in good shape. Now, because the camera is being utilized so much on the storm sewer side, we need a camera on the sanitary sewer side. And again, like I said, we're going to be presenting this in January anyhow, because it's in our 5-year plan. We requested that we start a lease program and to bring this truck in early, and then at the first of the year, we would do a purchase. The original contract that was presented was they offered us 80% of our lease payment to be utilized towards the total payment if we go ahead with the truck. And I think the finance director and Joe Honor beat up MTech pretty good and got them to go to 90%. So 90% of any of the money we put forward would be utilized towards the leasing. This is a standard camera truck with 2 transforming units with all the wheels and everything else to be able to utilize the different sizes of our storms and be able to keep our storm crews and sanitary crew, primarily the sanitary crew, moving forward at this time. I'll turn it over to Director Coffer, and she could probably explain any financial areas, and I can come back if you need me.
Thank you. Go ahead, Director Coffer.
I'm going to apologize ahead of time because my dog is not happy being in the cage tonight. So, and I haven't gotten contact with any dog whisperers yet. So, we talked about different options of trying to get this truck in here this year, but we're trying to stay with our 5-year plan, financial plan. And we felt that if we leased it, which it's like $72,000 for 6 months, I think. Is that right, Don? And so 90% of that is going to go towards the purchase price. So we felt that that was fair, and we wanted to get it here as soon as possible. And additionally, I asked because, you know, I'm finance director, right? I deal with these things all the time. I'm like, can you share the truck? Like, why can't you share the truck? But it's a pretty substantial switch over. Like, they use different pipes, they use different hoses, they use, so like everything on the truck to take it from doing storm sewers to sanitary sewers, it's a big turnover time each time. So it wasn't really conducive to splitting it during a week or whatever. So and this is newer technology, so we feel that it'll help us in the long run, and it was on their plan to get a new one anyway. So that's where we came to this point and thought this was the best viable financial option and to stay within our budget.
Okay, thank you. At least for my ward, and I'll channel my inner Councilman Schuman, thank any advancements that can be made this year towards flooding mitigation. I guess the first question I have is this is really, and I guess Director Kopfer is the right person to ask, but anyone who wishes to chime in. Is the point of the lease just so that we keep the purchase into next year?
Yes. Yeah, it's just a financing tool, really.
So if we were to purchase it outright this year, is that even an option that's on the table?
It could have been on the table, but we chose not to do it that way. Because
Okay.
we felt it important to stay within our plan.
I see. Councilperson Williamson, do you have any questions?
No, I think you've pretty much covered everything that I would have asked anyway. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Rest of council appears Councilman Lippert.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So, Ms. Kopfer, is the lease, what's the added cost for a lease, or does that, are we leasing to buy it? What's that added cost by leasing instead of buying it? Yeah,
Director Kopfer's on mute, but my reading of it would be $7,200, but.
Because it's 10% of the 6 months of lease payments. But like the camera alone is 150, the truck, so it's a fairly sizable. I mean, I think it's like Don, is it like 400, 440, something like that altogether with everything?
When you totally outfit it with all the equipment and everything else, the state term bid for the truck and the base model is $383,412 under state term bid. You add the camera, the extra transformer, we're at about $400,000, yes.
Okay, are there any other questions from council? So I believe Director Kopfer already answered this in response to my question earlier, but I'll just throw out there that if there is an advantage to purchasing this outright and we just shift the funds from next year's budget to this year's budget, but don't add to next year's budget to replace these, I don't see any reason why saving the $7,000 wouldn't be worthwhile. But if it's not doable, it's not doable. I assume you'd like to proceed as is. Okay.
And with suspension, because we want to get moving on this.
Okay. So given that there are the two of us for the committee, I will move that we recommend this to full council with suspension and ask for a second.
Second.
Seconded by Councilperson Williamson. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
That would be 2-0, and it is approved. And we'll conclude the committee at 7:36 p.m.